Well, a great quote that actually an employee had told me was, "If you don't like something, stick around long enough to fix it."
Hmm.
And I think that's a great way to look at things. And I believe like what, you know, I know I've steered away from the original question, but gratitude is huge. And I think that like that's something that has taken me a long time, and I'm still on a crazy personal journey with these type of things. But what I find with what we're talking about is that, and this is, to the listeners, because it's always like as I'm talking, I forget so many people would be listening to this. But I think a really important self-reflection that people should do, especially in your professional environment, but this applies to personal life too, is that, and there's so many employees that I can think of that had this sort of hang up, but you need to like, I believe in the glass half full situation is that it's important to look at what's going on around you and first like look at what's good. Like, okay, these people are paying me. I have a job.
Hmm.
I applied for a job here. I came to them most often. I dreamed of working here.
Hmm.
I went there hoping they would accept me, and they did. I should be grateful for that.
Hmm.
The check is good. I should be grateful for that. Even though my boss might be an asshole, he's here. He came to work today.
Hmm.
Like he's present. He is involved with the company. He has an opinion. He makes decisions. People don't understand how hard it is to make a decision. I mean, I think, if I were to say, if someone were to say, what's your most strongest business attribute? I'd say, I'm not afraid to make decisions.
Hmm.
If anything, I make decisions,
Hmm.
right or wrong. I'm not afraid to make them. And oftentimes I will sit and look at someone and be like, well, what do you want to do? Like make a decision. And I'm actually flabbergasted by how often people cannot make decisions and they're terrified and they'll be like, I don't know. Well, what do you think? And I'm like, I say no. I say no too. And you're like, oh man, come on. Give me a break. Like I want so I guess what I'm saying, go back to the gratitude,
Yeah.
is that it's really important to, and I try to do this every day now, of like, okay, well, that sucks. Like, I'm not stoked on that. But at the same time, like, back up. How's my life? Like, how is my actual life right now? Like, let's go bigger and think broader. How's my life? Mm, okay, I got up this morning. I'm healthy.
Hmm.
I didn't fight with my wife, let's say, and we had a great morning and we kissed each other when we went off to do our thing, hugged my kids. I'm not stressed out, generally speaking. Um, and you just kind of go through the life tick list. And then I'm like, so do I really give a shit about that situation at work because the person's doing this or that? Like the world is sort of operating in a way currently for me or whomever I'm talking about. This is like this reflection that someone should do real quick and be like, okay, before I go crazy in this meeting, let's check everything. Not just this meeting, everything. Because the universe is working in a particular way where you're like, hold on a minute, what's this really about? Is my life okay?
Yeah.
First and foremost, because you can't change other people's lives until your life's okay. So, is my life okay? Yeah, actually, today's a really good day. Fuck it, I'm going to keep my mouth shut,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
apply good things to the situation, and not like be like, I don't like this and I don't like that. Because really, like, step back and be like, I wish I look back on so many moments, and I wish I could look, because again, as an evolution of as a human, I wish I could look back at some of those people and be like, hey, hold on a minute. How's your day going?
Hmm.
What's going on in your life? Didn't you just get custody of your kid and like things are looking pretty good? And I just thought, didn't you just get a new car? Like, bro, pump the brakes.
Hmm.
Something we're doing is working here. Something you're doing is working here. And I really believe it's all kind of intertwined now. You'll climb out. Like if it's something at work that's going like in a bad way, I kind of feel like the whole universe has to sort of be in harmony to get out of that hole. And it's not just in the office,
Yeah.
because everybody has to be working with each other on all sides, 360 degrees, for it to elevate itself into success.
Yeah. Could I give you a term to consider
Sure.
in that? Um, One, just as a funny thing, it's like what you're talking about is like I believe it's something I've been working on is like positive mindset. And especially since starting my own company and really being like having to hold up a mirror and being like, "Oof, Jesus, like,
Mm.
all right, now I really got to put my money where my mouth is, like literally.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I've gotten way better of like kind of sitting there, like kind of having the gratitude. But just the other day, literally just the other day, I was in a meeting. I was sounding off. I'm being negative. I'm kind of like stomping my foot, like, "Mer," like,
Yeah.
being all like pissy about something. And I got off the call and I was like, that wasn't productive. And we had a consultant who's working with our company. So we're a consulting firm who has a consultant come in and with helping us with some financial stuff. And I got off that call and I was like, that's not who I am today. That's like
Yeah.
maybe who I was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Why did that person come in? So I'll bring in the term I was talking about. Have you ever heard the term target fixation?
Mm-mm.
It's a World War I term, when planes started becoming like aerial combat became a thing. Um, Pilots would get fixated on shooting down another plane, and they would forget their environment, and they would like fly into the ground or like fly into a cliff or fly too low and get shot down by like ground forces, because they would forget all of their other environment. All they would care about is trying to get that other thing. So when I talk about target fixation, I use it in what you're talking about. It's like, yo, like, why are you freaking out about this financial thing? Like, take a step back, look around you. Like, your life is sick. There are a lot of cool things going on. Wonderful people. You've made positive changes. This thing matters, but it doesn't matter to the degree you're putting overt focus on it. You're getting target fixation on it,
Mhm.
and you're flying into the cliff or you're flying into the enemy fire, which is the thing that fucks up your life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. It completely, especially with other employees, they would, yeah, they'll just point out a particular flaw that just completely is on the scale of what we're trying to achieve is not great. And yeah, they're not having gratitude for the bigger picture,
Yeah.
So that's been, that's a good takeaway. Actually, I like that. I have target fixation now because of having our boards in Target, and I'm very fixated on that. So I know what target fixation is when it comes to business.
No, man. Yeah, like, dude, when we think about gratitude, like, and something we were talking about earlier and we were joking about on the break, it's like so grateful for, and I'm laughing about it because I'm going to stop. I actually am very grateful for all the stuff. I'm grateful to be sitting here with you today. I'm
Yeah.
super psyched on the company, get to do these things, but also as a boss, you're like, there are days where it's like, God, it would be so much easier to work for someone else. Knowing what I know now, it would be easier to work for
Yeah.
someone else.
Yeah. Well, what can be hard too is that for in my situation, for many years, I worked for myself, started my own stuff, had great partners and terrible partners, but we were privately held. It was my own business, and I know what that feels like to be responsible for your own decisions. And then to then be sell your business or be part of a public company or private part of private equity, it's a bit of a bait and switch because you think you own your company, you think you're the CEO, you think you're the president, you think you're the boss, and you're like, "Oh, this freedom is sick." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, I don't have freedom like this. It's like I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to like speak to shareholders and make sure these guys are stoked." And then uh so I know what it's like to work for yourself for sure with your own money and then work for someone else where you're kind of a puppet, like you sort of work for yourself but you kind of don't, because if you make
Yeah.
the wrong step or move you get called out. And then going back to my current life, working 100% for myself again, it's a really interesting dynamic because I can reflect back on being part of a larger organization